So, I am constantly getting messages about why I am not covering Postscriptum or Squad anymore. And it is quite frankly something that is becoming more awkward to not talk about than it is to talk about. So, as much as I would like to ignore these things when they happen, it is obvious to everyone that knows me that there is something wrong, and at this point I just owe you all an explanation. So I am going to explain this as quickly and cleanly as I can. I will also say that this entire video is, like all my videos, my opinion and subjective from my point of view. However, with all that out of the way, let's start with this. Postscriptum is a modification for the game Squad. Squad is a game developed by the studio Off-World Industries, and Off-World Industries is a studio founded by ex-Project Reality developers. Now, I do not like Off-World. Also, many of the people that I work with do not like Off-World. And we do not like Off-World because of their regular personal attacks, insults, and general behavior, primarily conducted internally, towards people that they dislike. Now, since the majority of this behavior that we have a problem with is conducted internally, in channels locked from public view, Off-World thinks that this behavior is fine. The people they're talking about don't know they're talking about them, so no harm, no foul, right? Our point to them over the past 3 to 4, that's not even if you're counting Project Reality, 4+ years has been that it's not fine, because even if you think that you're getting away with it, saying it internally is not saying it in private. And you are saying these things in channels accessible to influencers, moderators, testers, and a whole swath of non-OWI community members who then not only constantly leak your conversations as screen grabs, but then also go onto public forums regurgitating the same personal attacks, insults, and behavior perpetrated by you because they look up to you. So, over the years, I've built a pretty sizable collection of things official developers have said that leak out as screen grabs or chat logs, and then they get passed around the community. And these aren't, tame things like, oh, I don't really like this guy, or I'm not really a fan. These are pretty aggressively unprofessional things. So, for instance, here's one from Odin, one of the lead programmers of Squad, saying, "Fuck that guy so hard." Talking about me, by the way. "He is such an imbecile." And that's just the kind of general behavior that you could come to expect working with OWI. Is just them constantly berating people. And the thing is, you're never going to find a screen grab of me calling Odin a fucking imbecile. And it's not that you're not going to find it because I only say it in private messages, or I only say it in closed discords with all of our YouTuber friends and developers. Not because I'm super sneaky about it. You're not going to find it because I've never said it. You're not going to find it because it doesn't exist. And that is the lesson that they seem incapable of learning. Now, this behavior has been ongoing for a long time. We don't like it. We've asked them to stop, and they won't stop. In fact, whenever we confront them about it, they either ignore us completely, do it more, or usually both. Here's a clip of me talking about exactly this in 2016.
These aren't just random people. These are the developers of the game doing this and going around saying that I'm full of shit. Chris, Will, everybody else on the team, I respect what you're doing. I'm happy with what you're doing, but I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate this at all. and the amount of harassment and the amount of, I guess, ill intent I receive from developers whenever I talk about their game, even when I'm right. It's not something that I can just roll over and take and be okay with. So, all right, really excited about Squad, really excited about vehicles, really excited to play the game. Best of luck. I hope you guys are going to be successful. I really do.
Now, the thing is, you're thinking that this behavior is just exclusive to me, but that's the problem. It's not. You can rest assured that if someone feels that it's okay to talk this way about someone, anyone, they're going to talk this way about anybody that they dislike. Other influencers, other community members, sometimes even other studios, or even their own contractors. In fact, we have a saying inside DRK that the only thing OWI hates more than Blue Drake is each other, because they talk this way about everybody, even their own people. It got to a point where myself and others were so uncomfortable with their behavior, especially after repeatedly confronting them about it, that we decided to say that we were going to stop working with them unless their behavior changed. In fact, here is a clip of me talking about exactly that again.
Things like this are what drive me away. Things like this are what drive me crazy. I'm really excited for the game, but I've been getting less and less excited about the game because of things like this.
Now, when this came out, their community manager at the time asked me to sign a non-disclosure agreement, which, for obvious reasons, I refused to sign. Because, you see, up to that point, I was covering Squad on OWI's terms. I would say what they wanted me to say, I would show what they wanted me to show. If they wanted me to take down a video, I would. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to, because I wanted to help them. But call me a piece of shit and a fucking imbecile enough times, and you don't get that privilege anymore. And I'm not going to sign a contract to you. So, because of this, I voluntarily remove myself from all media channels where people get privileged information, and I tell them, hey, I'm just a guy now. You know, from now on, I'm just going to cover Squad as if we had never worked together before. No harm done. Probably the best for both of us. And I try to make that separation as clean and professional as possible. However, wait a few months, and lo and behold, Squad is back telling me what videos of mine I need to take down. And naturally, I refer them to the previous guy who asked me to sign an NDA that I refused to sign. And here, this is just an example of the constant behavior that I hate most about OWI. This guy is gone after this shit show. Man, I don't want to know that. I don't want to know which of your guys you think is running a shit show or who you're going to fire. I mean, you're literally talking to the influencer who just refused to sign an NDA to you, talking about your other contractors like this. This is exactly the reason that I stopped working with OWI in the first place. Like, what is your problem? So, forward wind a few months, and this is where I get a message from the developers of Scriptum saying this: hello, I've been told by some guy in our crew that you have had shits with OWI. So, you know, he's well aware of my situation. So if any way you decide to talk about Scriptum in your videos or whatever, I just want to let you know that we have no affiliation whatsoever with them. So no need to speculate on whether or not we are going to follow their way of dealing with things. Now, I don't like OWI. I don't want to work with OWI. I don't want to support OWI, but I feel bad because I still want to support the modding community for Squad. They're different people. They don't deserve to suffer the sins of their father. So I'm happy to promote their mod, which I do. However, after promoting it and making a bunch of videos on it, months later, from somebody I will not disclose, because knowing what OWI has done to previous people that I've worked with, not even anybody from Scriptum, I learned that they actually are working with OWI directly, Postscriptum is going to be a completely paid game, and OWI, who haven't even finished their first game, is going to have a revenue share in it. Even worse, this was all decided months ago, and I've been promoting the mod, well, it's not a mod anymore, this entire time that has secretly turned into an OWI DLC. And the people who know my situation, who originally told me, and I quote, "We have no affiliation whatsoever with them," haven't told me a thing. Now, I'm disappointed, a little frustrated, but I mean, it's not a huge problem. However, I make a video informing everybody that Postscriptum is going to become a paid game, which was because they tried to say that, oh, everybody knew it was going to be a paid game. No, nobody knew that. Nobody knew you changed that. That was news to everybody. But I make this video, and while I'm disappointed and a little frustrated, it's a pretty tame video. I'm not name-calling anybody. I'm not personally attacking anybody. I just say Postscriptum's going to be a paid game. I'm kind of disappointed that OWI is going to have a revenue share in it when they're not even finished with their other game. And I wish that Postscriptum would make their own framework and go truly standalone, like Hell Let Loose ended up doing. And that's it. That's the whole video. Now, it would have been nice if I had gotten a message from literally any of them saying anything along the lines of, sorry if you felt misled. We said we weren't working with OWI. Obviously, that wasn't true. We are working with OWI. The game's going to be completely paid. We apologize if you were confused or if we didn't communicate that properly, and we hope you still play the game. But no, you know what they do instead? Blue Drake's a prick. Blue Drake's an asshole. We should be happy DRK isn't supporting us because that would mean we would fail anyways, which is a whole nother problem we have with squad development culture, is them just blowing off entire communities of people instead of taking their feedback and criticism seriously. But that's a whole nother conversation. And then OWI developers themselves in Postscriptum channels warning them, other studios, about working with us. And in fact, if I can remember the quote, it was, "I already warned you about them long ago." Actually, the same developers that were calling their contractors shit previously in the video. And I would love to see what was in the message that was apparently sent to warn another studio about us, because I'm pretty sure in that message it wasn't, hey, by the way, just to warn you about Blue Drake, our developers wouldn't stop calling him and his community members fucking imbeciles and pieces of shit, so he stopped working with us because we were creating a toxic work environment. I'm pretty sure that the warning message did not include that. Now, the serious problem occurs when you go one step further, because, the personal attacks and insults, that's one thing. That sucks, but it's not illegal. But when you start creating these closed channels locked from the public, and you perpetuate accusations that people have no ability to defend themselves from, there's nothing stopping you from making completely factless accusations. So, for instance, and I bet you've heard this one around, Blue Drake 42 misled people into thinking he was a developer of Squad. That is completely false. I have never said that once. In fact, I've gone ahead and I've compiled in the first 5 videos that I released of Squad all of the times that I said very publicly that I am not a developer for Squad.
Before we start, for those of you who do not know, this game is called Squad. It is not an official sequel to Project Reality. However, it is a commercial game that will be available, hopefully, on Steam, although I'm not a developer, so I can't say. But I mean, there's some other competitors out there, like, I mean, I can say it because I'm not an official dev, so I'll just say it, but like Takedown. So please be patient. The developers are still working on the game a lot, and it is taking a lot of effort on their part to get the game even where it is right now, and there's a lot of work to be done in the future. I'm not saying I'm a developer. I'm absolutely not.
Yeah, it really sounds like I'm misleading people into thinking that I'm a developer for Squad. Or There were a couple people that said, "Oh yeah, well he couldn't find where he ever said that he was a developer for Squad, but he did say the word we a couple of times, like in this instance."
With that said, we actually do have a couple new things to show today. Not many, but a few. As you can see, it's a lot darker than normal. We are playing on the night map version of the Logar map.
Where I say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna show some things," which, first of all, I don't think is me making myself sound like I'm a developer for Squad, and even if it did, I'm pretty sure that doesn't override the times that I've previously said before this that I am not a developer for Squad. But you see, none of that matters. They don't do their research. They don't want to do their research. I mean, they could ask somebody, anybody from either my community or anywhere else, like take 2 seconds, be like, "Oh, did he ever say he was a developer? Oh, actually he said he wasn't." But they don't want to do that. They just want to believe whatever makes the people they dislike look stupid. And then when they perpetuate these accusations, they do it in channels with all the influencers they know. They do it in private messages to other studios. They do it in places with all of your coworkers and all of your friends and all of their community members, who then go out and publish the exact same accusations on Reddit or the public forums, or they take screen grabs of the conversations and pass them around and be like, hey, look, the developers think that Blue Drake's a fucking imbecile too. Isn't that awesome? Our lords also support, like the niche of the community that hates DRK, which is how I get all of these. That's how I get all of these screen grabs. But they do this to so many people, and they've done this so many times, and this is what happens. So, how do I feel about Postscriptum? Do I think that it's bad that they ended up charging for their game? I don't like the way they handled it, but I am not against developers making money. That's why I supported Squad in the first place, because I believed in that. That's why I offered to fund development of Project Reality with my YouTube revenue, which when I offered to do, they threatened to shut down my server. It actually happened. Link that, by the way. But I do have a problem with developers blatantly lying, calling me and other people assholes, misleading their community, and then after all of that, and all of the opportunities to own up to it and make it right, not owning up to it. Especially for a game like this, because I think it's gotten to the point where the community is so poisoned with this behavior and developers supporting this behavior that the game isn't fun anymore. And that's the reason I stopped playing. Because for those of you who know me, I don't play this game to play a game. I suck at games. I have carpal tunnel. I can't aim. I play this game to be a part of a great community. A community led by developers who don't go around picking sides and personally attacking people. And when the community isn't healthy, the game isn't fun for me. And like I've been saying for a long time, and I think people are starting to actually believe, Unreal Engine 4 and just the game development industry in general is incredibly powerful, and there are an insane amount of incredibly capable tools that are available to everybody and the public, and it is only a matter of time before all of the other people who can do what Squad are doing and who can do what Postscriptum are doing are going to catch up with the head start that the Project Reality community gave Offworld. And when that time comes, I'm going to be there to support those other studios that don't personally attack people and call people fucking imbeciles over Offworld. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. There are not many things in my life that I regret more than supporting Squad, and it has been over a year since I posted a video about either Squad or Postscriptum, and they still will not stop talking about me. Last week, when the developers for Postscriptum were talking about me again, they said I didn't like them because I think they're liars and dishonest. And yeah, that's about how I feel about it. It's gotten to the point where whenever people come to me and say, "Hey, have you seen the latest things that the developers have said about so-and-so? Didn't you, really endorse these people from before?" And I'm just embarrassed that people still affiliate me with them. And I have to say, I was wrong. They were supposed to be better than this. That was why I believed in them. And I was just so wrong. Please do not think that I support this behavior. And I don't even think they realize how much their behavior is getting out ahead of them. And this is the legacy that this entire company is leaving, and I can't stand being around it. And I think this might spell the end for these games, because eventually when somebody else does what you do and they do it as good or better and they don't behave like that, who's going to play your game? Not me. So I hope this video was worth making and gives you a better understanding of my position. I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but I thought I still owed everyone an explanation. I know there are still many other people who need to cover Scriptum on YouTube to make a living, and I don't want anybody to think that I have a problem with you if you play the game. You don't have to worry about like Blue Drake being mad at you because you play Squad or Scriptum, but I don't want to. And I hope everybody can respect that. I will be playing other games because there are so many other similar games releasing this quarter and next quarter that I don't think that this will be a very big issue for very long. However, I know everybody really wanted to know why I haven't been talking about or playing Scriptum, and this is why. But that is it from me. I will see you all in the future, and I appreciate you watching this. Take care, and cheers.